Hello again. We are the members of your higher expressions of self. We live in unity consciousness within the fifth dimension and beyond. We are the you that you have always been and the you to whom you are returning. Feel within yourself the resonance of a higher expression, that part within yourself that calls to you, that tells you it's time to rest now, it's time to relax. Have you read that interesting article? That might be good for you. There's a wonderful hike they just discovered. Time to sit down and play with your children. Don't work so hard. Relax. Work is ending. Work is ending, money is ending, and most of all, time as you have known it is ending. Have you realized how time seems to be going so fast that you can't get everything done? And have you realized that many of those logical, sequential tasks that have taken up so much time of your day are so burdensome that you can barely force yourself to do them? You are preparing. You are preparing for a reality in which you don't have to go to work, in which you don't have to pay your bills, in which you don't have to work hard to get what you need so you can survive. All those burdens are specific to the fourth dimensional expression of Earth. These are all burdens that are bound by time. You have to work hard over time to make enough money to get what you need to survive. That is the format of the third dimensional reality. And there are good jobs and bad jobs. And you are a good person if you work very hard. You're a bad person if you don't work hard enough. These are all indoctrinations that you have been fed for many, many incarnations. All of these indoctrinations are time-driven, are work-driven. And work is resistance against time. Work is something that you resist doing, but you must do, and it takes a lot of time to do it. Have you noticed when you are doing something that you love, when you are doing something that is creative or joy-filled, that you step out of time? You're no longer looking at your clock. You're no longer taking a deep sigh. You're no longer looking around the room wondering if anyone will see you when you don't do it for a minute. Yes, that is work. Work is ending. What is taking work's place is the joy of expression, the fulfillment of creativity, and the unity of working with the unit of like-minded people to create new Earth. What a wonderful era. What a wonderful, as you might say, time you are in. For you are in the end of time. And the end of time is the beginning of the now. So how do you step out of time? How do you realize that work is not what you must do? How do you remember your deepest creativity? And how do you know inside of yourself exactly what your contribution is to creating new Earth? The answer to these questions is that you connect with your higher expression of self. Connecting with your higher expression of self means that you go beyond the illusion of your third dimensional reality that lives outside of you. And instead, you choose to turn your mind around and look inside of you. And when you look inside of you, you can breathe in the higher frequencies of multidimensional light and the unconditional love, which is that highest frequency of light. As you breathe in the multidimensional light and unconditional love, you are transforming your physical being. Now, you don't have to intentionally breathe in this light and love, for it is coming into your pineal gland all the time. It is filling the atmosphere of your planet all the time, within the now of the One. So whether you are aware of it or not, you are downloading higher frequencies of light than you have ever had exposure to in all of your incarnations as a human being on planet Earth. There were times before the fall of Atlantis when Earth was basked in this beautiful light. But since the fall of Atlantis, which started about 12,000 years and completed about 10,000 years ago, things have been difficult. Things have been extremely polarized. And within that extreme polarization, there has been a sense of separation from each other and separation from your higher expression of self. So we begin creating new earth by creating new self. Now, of course, our new self isn't new, and either is new earth. For our fifth dimensional expressions of ourself and of our planetary being and beyond are not bound by time as you would count it on the third, fourth dimension. Therefore, these expressions of your planet, of your earth vessel, have always existed, are being created right now, and live within the now of the oneness. As you allow your consciousness to move inside of your being, then you are in sight of the now. For when you turn your attention away from the hustle and the bustle of time-driven third-dimensional life, you find that inside of you, reality is quiet. Inside of you, you may first find that your mind is busy thinking, and busy thinking in a third dimensional fashion, which means, oh, I must do this by now, I must do that by now, which is so burdensome to us, and so burdensome to you. It is that job that you must do by now that haunts you and distracts you and lowers your consciousness. And so how is it that you can come out of time to doing those jobs that indeed you still must do them? Well, the way that is done is by thinking multidimensionally. When you think in a time-driven manner, you think, I must do this thing by this time. When you think in a multidimensional manner, there is no time, there is no space, There are no limitations. There is no separation. There is no gender. And most important of all, there are no polarities. The polarity of human fear and human love is replaced by the higher frequency light of unconditional love, which is timeless and ageless and unconditional. As the higher frequencies of light come into your consciousness, you are beginning to love yourself in a way that you never thought that you could. You may not realize why you love yourself so much, but it feels good. And even though you may not understand it, you want to continue with this kind of love, this love that you have for yourself. And because of the love that you have for yourself, you don't bind yourself to, I must do this at this time. Instead, you say, I love myself enough to trust myself enough to know that when I am ready, I will do it. When you say, when I am ready, I will, quote, pay the bills, wash the dishes, do the other mundane tasks that pull your consciousness down. There are mundane tasks that you can free from time, such as the ones that we just spoke of. Unfortunately, as you are well aware, there are mundane tasks which you are still bound to, such as going to work by a certain time, having a project by a certain time. These are basically the actions that you must do to make money to survive. But fortunately, making money to survive is also a third-dimensional concept. And it is a concept that is beginning to close. You needn't know the details of how and why and when, but it is important that you live in the love of it, and you assist the processes that are going on behind closed doors at this point. You assist these processes by unconditionally loving the fact that you are releasing yourself from the burden of money. You are releasing yourself from the burden of time. Feel the freedom to be free of the burden of time. Feel the freedom to be free of the burden of work. Feel the freedom to be free of the burden of money. In other words, feel the freedom of living and expressing your highest expression of creativity in the now of the one. Feel that, hold that, live there. For the reality that you think about is the reality that you bring about. Ignore whatever contradicts your project of creating new earth within your consciousness. For your consciousness is how you connect with us, your higher expressions of self. Blessings. We will return, for we can never leave you. We are united with you forever and infinity.